Reimagination. Remixing for a different audience.
Reimagination. Sometimes we remix our clips.
To reimagine, you remix, you reissue content for a different medium. It's important to know that people who listen to you may not even know you have something to say until they discover where you're talking. Through reimagination of content, you can move your information in front of an audience that may not be aware of where you are. It's a sophisticated digital literacy. Remember, we started with research and preparation. We did some recording, production, and post-production. Finally, we're lifting our content and reimagining it. We'll publish it, syndicate it. We'll track where the information goes, and we'll archive our content. All these sophisticated digital literacies fit into the making and creating of valuable content. Previously, we spoke of how you need to edit some of your content. Now we can see where that editing may go. It may go into you helping your content reach into a new audience. The snippets that you reimagine can be displayed inline on social networks. If you want to reimagine something, you should find the cliffhangers, something you've done previously, write compelling titles for that content, add captions and links to the images that you've snapped, make a collection of top content, and then point listeners to great content. The cliffhangers, small tidbits of information people want to interact with. Sometimes prominent names will attract attention, such as the head of a country, the Taoiseach of Ireland. What attracted attention on your Twitter stream? You can look at Twitter analytics and see, in this particular case, how the writer, Derek Baird, and his citing of an Irish researcher, Dr. Conor Galvin, resulted in a lot of Twitter activity. If you wish to make that into a snippet of conversation that was part of a podcast, you can pull from your Twitter analytics an idea that perhaps it would be an interesting conversation. Twitter analytics is suggesting that this is the most important top media tweet. It attracted attention. It can be reimagined. On Flickr, if you look at the peaks of the content that you've put up, it's possible to determine which image is actually attracting attention. It's possible to pivot an audio clip, a new audio clip, or an old audio clip with a slightly different slant into an audience that's already looking at the image that attracted attention. Pivoting does that. Pivoting also causes you to look at a Twitter stream for stuff such as STEM, diving into STEM to find experiments or to find people in classroom settings or exhibitions in large events, or to find specific parts of those events like microbits or electronics technology that you might have an expertise in, that you can talk to somebody, revealing colorful content or experiments that might explode or things that might make noises fire up. STEM is an important issue that can be reimagined. By writing compelling titles, people that might not have normally looked at the STEM information may want to understand where it came from. The inventor of the mobile phone, for example, a compelling title for someone to see or hear what his interesting perspective is 40 years later. Compelling titles, all the Flickr imagery you have, all the Twitter imagery you have, all the Instagram imagery you have needs compelling titles for someone to get an idea that it's not just a person, it's an initiative, it's an event, it's an item that has a compelling title that causes you to listen to something you might not have seen or heard before, but now it's in front of you and you want to look at it because the captions and the links that you see push something somewhere for you to have an idea that an inspiration for an idea that might normally not have been there in front of you. Hyperlinks help bring that audience in front of you. Hyperlinks build an audience. Flickr is a big repository of imagery that is linked, indexed, and tracked by Google. Flickr's a place where if you offer interesting titles on a Flickr image, those titles can point people to related content, perhaps in the captions of those images, those captions with hyperlinks going to blog posts that you've wrote about, or audio files in which you've spoken about information. Okay, to reuse cliffhangers, have to first extract them. That was a previous session of one of our Creating Content series. You have to remix them, slice them down, and make the size of the content, the seconds of content, the size of the imagery appropriate for the social network where you're going to put them, and then you have to republish them on those networks. You can cross-promote with Instagram. Now, this is something that we need to do better. 6, 7, 8. You need to have triple digits for likes on your Instagram account. Otherwise, no one's seeing your Instagram account. This is something that works really well. Instagram is a place where people go to see an image and then to go into content, top curated content. It's up to you to remix. It's up to you to reimagine, to curate that top content into a flow that people want to look at, want to listen to, want to interact with. Some ideas for doing it. You can push your content to Twitter moments. Simply list a tweet in a collection of moments about an event, about a person, about an initiative. You can make Instagram stories out of your content. You can build collages out of your images that tell a story because they're compelling enough to have somebody look at the links that go with the image or Google the words that go with the image to find your deeper content. You can take some content into LinkedIn and make a status update there. Inside tip here, the business intelligence of the remixing that I'm explaining is that if you remix your content, you're going to find viewers who aren't currently listening. And that's why you want to reimagine your content. You want to grab those viewers, point them to really great content, make them inline remixes that the person doesn't have to leave Instagram. They don't have to leave LinkedIn. They don't have to leave the zone in which they're seeing your content to get an idea about who you are. And perhaps then they may follow your podcast or go over to your blog and subscribe to it. So, the 5 main takeaways for everything that we're offering here.
Reimagination. 1. Find the cliffhangers. 2. Write an interesting title. 3. Add captions and links to Flickr. 4. Make a collection of top content. 5. Point listeners to great content.
That's your skill set, reimagination. That's your task. The big takeaway from this on the inside, if you remix and you reissue, you're going to find a new audience. And that's really good.
Catch up with us at YMTFM.
YMT.fm, available as a link that you can follow, a blog that you can read, images that you can see, and a podcast that you can hear. Up next, publishing.